Hey, it's Tigman. Time for this week's edition of the Metal Box, our weekly discussion on all things hard rock and heavy metal. This week we got another interview. Recently spoke to Matthias, guitarist for the Scorpions. Great guitarist. He's been with the band for nearly 40 years. Scorpions have been around for 50 years, believe it or not. So he's been there for a long time. The most commercially successful period of the Scorpions he's been involved with. And talked about his time with the band. Also talked about the Crazy World 2017 tour at Scorpions and Megadeth. Just kicked off this week. They're playing Madison Square Garden in New York City this Saturday, September 16th. And we also talked about the possibility of the Scorpions being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think they should be. This is what he had to say. Check out the interview here.
Okay.
Hi there, Matthias. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. It's great to have you with us here on the phone. And Scorpions, one of my favorite hard rock, heavy metal bands of all time. And just great to chat with you. Over 50 years this band's been playing together, and you've been in the band for obviously, definitely the most commercially successful period for the band. Around 40 years, right? You've been with these guys?
Yeah, next year will be my 40th anniversary with the band.
What's it been like all these years playing with these guys? I mean, are they like family to you, I would assume?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been fantastic. We had, a few members changed, but Klaus, the singer, Rudolf, the other guitar player, and myself, we are together now for almost 40 years. And speaking of changing drummers, we have a new drummer since 1 year, Mickey D from
awesome.
Motorhead. And he's a very nice guy. He fits right in, and he is a powerhouse. He is one of the best drummers in the world. Just got voted number one drummer in Japan last week. And so we are a very energetic band, and we love what we are doing even after all these decades.
Well, I got to tell you, Matthias, I've seen you so many times over the years. I've always said some of the best live concerts you'll ever see are Scorpion shows. I mean, just a great time always. You guys always deliver, and you always bring it.
We are proud of this reputation we have, and because we give it like 100% each and every night, and there's no excuse.
No, there isn't.
You know?
There's no excuse. It's always a great show. What was it like replacing Olli John Roth in Scorpions? Tell me about that. How did that come about? How did you get the gig?
I mean, I knew up front that he would be leaving the band.
Mm-hmm.
Olli and I grew up in the same neighborhood, and I went to school with his younger brother. So we knew each other anyway, way before he joined the Scorpions.
Gotcha.
And so I saw his very first gig when he was 14.
Oh, wow.
And he's a fantastic guitar player, and but he wanted to go into a different direction musically.
Sure.
And his whole lifestyle is completely different, and therefore he didn't really fit into the Scorpions that well. And you can tell by the early records that there were like at least two styles, his style and the other style, so to speak. And so when I joined, obviously, big footsteps to fill. So that was not easy, but it wasn't that hard either, because I somehow knew what to do. Not only could I play his stuff, because when I joined, we only had the back catalog with his guitar playing, and then we went into the studio to record Laugh Drive, and that is the album that brought us for the first time. It had the first time a worldwide release to begin with, and it brought us to the United States in 1979 for the very first time. So, it was not easy, but it was a great challenge, and, I liked it, and it felt good. It felt right to replace him, and he liked it too, because, we were friends.
Yeah, exactly. There was a mutual respect there, I assume.
Absolutely.
Right. And on the same subject of playing with former band members and stuff, what was it like for the short time you were performing with Michael Schenker, and of course all these years later still with Rudolf Schenker in the band, his brother?
I mean, same thing. I mean, everything was actually fine. Sometimes, the media tries to look for, something like, I don't know, we say over here, a piece of hair in the soup, but there was no problem either, because we all got along well.
Yep.
And, I always understood when the brothers want to play together, but then again, they don't get along as well as you might think.
Right.
And therefore, it didn't really work out. And I think, if you look back in history, it shows you there were always the right decisions made at the right time, and that's why we're still here.
I tell you, well, back in 2010, you put out the album Sting in the Tail, and there was a lot of talk that it was going to be the last album, and the band was going to be calling it a day, no more touring, which upset me because I'm like, I can't imagine a time in my life where I can't go and pick up a new Scorpions album or even go see this phenomenal band live in concert. So let me just thank you for, I don't know what happened, but I guess you guys changed your minds and you want to keep going.
I must tell you, it was never our idea. It was a manager's idea.
Okay.
And we don't have this manager anymore.
Gotcha.
And
good job getting rid of that manager.
So-called farewell tour in December 2012, here in the city where I'm sitting at, in Munich, Bavaria, Germany, it felt very strange. And during those 2.5 years touring with that Sting in the Tail tour, we noticed, no. This is not what we really want to do. We don't want to sit at home.
Right.
The fans loved it too much. The promoters made us offers from around the world, everywhere into the year, I don't know. And so, funny enough, as soon as we, after Christmas, sit at home, here came the call from MTV Unplugged. Because we missed out in the middle 80s when it was so popular.
Sure.
Because we were too busy. And so we decided, yes, let's take this as a challenge. We want to do it. It's missing in our musical history. And so we decided to, write new songs, arrange the old ones for 5 to 6 guitars. And what came out is a great album recorded live in Athens, Greece, in a great amphitheater, the first MTV Unplugged ever outdoors into a bigger crowd. And, it's fantastic. I don't know if you know it, but it's really good. And it brought us back into, let's continue, let's go out again, let's even record a new album, which we did.
2015, Return to Forever, another great album from you guys.
Right.
And, of course, we're talking with you because you have a big fall tour. The Crazy World 2017 tour is going to hit Madison Square Garden in New York City, September 16th. Very excited about this. Very excited to see Megadeth as a special guest. Have you ever shared the stage with Megadeth before, or is this a first time for you guys?
It's the first time to be on a tour with them in the States, but we shared the stage here in Europe for a couple times in recent years. Festivals, they come over to the big rock summer festivals here in Europe. We met in Portugal, in Spain, in France, I believe, in Scandinavia also. And like Sweden Rock's a big festival over here. And so we met a few times, and we know each other. They're great guys. They're a great band. And I think together we are a great package.
It's a great package. Great double bill. Looking forward to seeing that, of course. And is there talk of a new album now? Are you working on any kind of new material at the moment?
We go into the studio in August for 2 songs. For a compilation album, which is supposed to come out, and then, so to have 2 new tracks. But to record a new album, we are booked out until the end of the year. So the earliest would be in early 2018.
Okay.
And but we are touring until then, and touring is the best inspiration. And everybody's always having a new idea, recording it, putting it to the side, and then when we come back together after the tour, we decide what we do.
All right, well, you got to catch this tour. It's Scorpions with special guest Megadeth and, of course, Madison Square Garden, one of the dates in New York City, September 16th. Lastly, Matthias, I got to ask you your thoughts on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Clearly, the Scorpions deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Would you like to see that honor bestowed of you, or do you not really care about the Rock Hall? What's your opinion? Do you think you deserve to be in there?
I mean, I've been, I think, at least twice to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. And yes, what you just said, I heard many times. The Scorpions should be in there, especially if you see who else is in there. We would fit right in, and I think we've done enough over the last 50 years to deserve a spot. And it's not the time yet, but maybe one day. And I wouldn't mind.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. And I'm sure everybody else in the band is on the same page with you.
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, listen, Matthias, a phenomenal guitarist you are. It's an honor to speak with you today, and I'm really excited about the upcoming tour. I wish you nothing but the best with this tour with Megadeth, and maybe we'll see the Hall of Fame nomination come through one day,
Okay, right, thank you.
Thanks for spending some time with us today. Much appreciated.
Okay, thank you so much. Great talking to you. Great talking to you.
And that'll do it for this week's edition of the Metal Box. Thanks for tuning in. The rock and roll limo has arrived. We'll see you next week.